Hello and welcome to Sikhism. I wanted to go out on a little field trip to tape this episode at the Glenrock Gurdwara. But unfortunately the weather is terrible today, so we'll stay inside and do the lesson here. Many of you indicated that Sikhism is one of the religions you had never heard about. Although I would say that you probably have met Sikhs without knowing it. You may have mistaken them for Muslims because of the head covering that sometimes does look a little bit like Islam or Muslim people might wear, although when you know it for sure, you can know the difference. Sikhism is actually the 5th largest religion in the world if you don't count the people that might say that they have no religious preference. But Sikhism comes right after Christianity, Islam, Hinduism and Buddhism. Then comes Sikhism as the 5th largest with 30 million people living around the world. 75% of all Sikhs live in the Punjab region of India. The rest of the Sikh population is spread out with majority in London, in Great Britain, and then also we have a pretty large Sikh community right here in metropolitan New York and northern New Jersey area. Sikhism is also the newest religion we will be talking about here. While we started out with Hinduism, which is one of the most ancient religions, one of the oldest ones, we are jumping way ahead in history to this religion, which is barely over 500 years old. Watch this little clip from the British Broadcasting Corporation on the Punjab.
Of the 2 new borders created by partition in 1947, the most contentious was the line that cut the state of Punjab in half, the border between India and Pakistan. Since independence, India and Pakistan have fought 3 wars and engaged in countless cross-border incidents.
The Punjab has been an area of migration and settlement for many different races throughout history for a long, long time. It has oftentimes been the border or division between the Western civilizations and Eastern civilizations. You have in the Punjab, you had the coming together of the Persian Empire towards the Indian empires. You had the big Greek Empire from Alexander the Great bordering here towards India. You had the Sassanid or Sasanian Empire bordering right here. And even Islam, when Islam started expanding in the world, it kind of came to the Punjab where it faced with Indian people and with Hinduism. So throughout history, the Punjab has been on the one hand, a melting pot, but also a place where different thoughts collided with each other and where there was a lot of fighting going on around those beliefs. And so it might not come as a surprise that the Sikh symbol is one of weapons that are intended mostly for defense. But you see in the middle there is a 2-edged sword. Then the round kind of thing is a round weapon. It's called the chakram or shakar. It's a circular weapon that you can throw, and it was sharp on the outside. So it was also a defense kind of thing. And then you have the 2 daggers that are one-sided swords. So the symbol itself has 3 types of weapons in it. And that's kind of an interesting thing for a religion, right? To have a symbol with weapons. And yet Sikhism is actually a pretty peaceful religion. So why is there such a worrying symbol? Sikhism itself started as a way to try to overcome all the fighting between different religions. It was intended to equalize and to bring together. And yet, once the new religion had started, it was difficult to maintain it. There were several kinds of big wars going on and persecutions of Sikhs in the Punjab throughout history. There were big massacres around. In 1746 and 1762, the Mughal Empire overcame the Punjab and fought against Sikhs, killing many of the Sikh people at that time. Even the gurus in between, some of them were martyred and were killed in the process. And when finally, between 1801 and 1849, the Sikhs had their own empire, it then was defeated by the British. And then in 1919, right on the big holiday of Vaisakhi on April 13, 1919, there was a huge massacre where British troops shot indiscriminately into a group of Sikhs that had gathered to celebrate the holiday, killing 400 of them and injuring about 1,000 people that really only came together in the town of Amritsar to celebrate their New Year's festival of Vaisakhi. It all started with Guru Nanak, who was born in the Punjab in 1469. When he was 30 years old in 1499, he is said to have come down to the river to wash himself and to get ready for his early morning prayers. He then disappeared for 3 days, and people mourned about him that he had maybe drowned or whatever might have happened to him. When he reappeared after 3 days, he came and claimed that he had received a message from God, and that there is only one God. He said, "There is neither Hindu nor Muslim, I will follow God's path." And the name that he knew for God was Satnam, which is symbolized by this symbol here, the Ek Onkar. His message was encapsulated in the so-called Mul Mantar that you will find in the Holy Scriptures of Sikhism, the Holy Granth or the Granth Sahib. And there we read, "There is one Supreme God, known by grace by the true Guru, the true name, the Creator, fearless and formless, timeless, never incarnated, self-existent." Guru Nanak did not like the fact that Hindus and Muslims were fighting with each other in the Punjab all the time about which religion to follow. It seems to me in some ways that Guru Nanak followed various religions actually before he had his vision to unite things. Sikhism certainly builds on the basic ideas of Hinduism still. There is the idea of reincarnation and of karma, and that eventually you will find enlightenment. Those beliefs that we just learned in Hinduism are also true in Sikhism. But the insistence that there is only one God is bringing out the main idea of Hinduism, of course, that there is really truly only one God and all the deities are only incarnations. But it also plays towards Islam, of course, where Islam specifically says that there is no God but this one God. And so in some ways, Guru Nanak's message was one of bringing things together and say, let's not fight. We all want to pray to that one God and believe in one God. Watch this next clip on Guru Nanak's life.